He's been called the master of surrealism. Salvador Dali was an eccentric Spanish painter influenced by the Renaissance. He worked with a range of artists in different fields, and his repertoire included film, photography, and sculpture. Kelowna hosted the largest selection of Dali bronze artworks ever displayed, featuring 13 bronzes and limited edition wall art.
You can't mention the top 10 artists in the world without mentioning Salvador Dali. Alongside Picasso and Chagall and obviously others, he is one of the most recognised artists in the world. Dali had a fascination with Alice in Wonderland for whatever reason. You'll find this image in some of his paintings, and then of course the sculpture was adapted from those paintings. But in my mind, it's one of the most elegant sculptures that he did, and certainly it's one of the top-selling artworks in the collection.
One of Dali's most recognizable works is The Persistence of Memory, with soft melting watches, later transferred to the third dimension of sculpture, in a way to explore the unseen part of his paintings. Horse Saddled with Time features a melted clock face as a saddle.
It shows the artist's working methodology. This was actually made by Dali in hot wax. He was moulding it with his hands like this in the sun by his swimming pool in his house in the south of Spain. And you can actually see where his fingers and thumbs formed the actual form of the horse itself.
Art Evolution sells the works of Dali through locations in France, the US, and Canada.
A lot of the people here, especially with higher end homes, were looking for artworks that were exclusive, precious, and most particularly an investment level product.
And these artworks aren't cheap, running up to 40 grand for some of the sculptures. Space Venus and Space Elephant among the most expensive here today.
Investment level art has pretty much outperformed every other investment category forever.
Dali worshipped Sigmund Freud and once sketched his portrait. It was the dream state he was particularly intrigued with, and that is what influenced one of his most famous sculptures, the Space Elephant. Dali thought the big lugs were at a disadvantage with their short legs.
So he thought, well, we'll give it a bit of a lift and put these rather giraffe-type legs on the elephant. And the obelisk has got many meanings, and you'll see that obelisk in major cities all over the world, including, of course, Washington and Paris and places like that. But this is really from the dream state. This is something he dreamt up and was originally in some of his paintings.
It was a real coup for Kelowna, and in particular Sandhill Winery, to have the opportunity to display this exclusive collection.
I think the best quote I've had so far, I was talking to a lady who was trying to explain to her husband about the Salvador Dali coming to Kelowna, and he obviously didn't know a lot about Dali, and she said, look darling, it's a bit like the PGA coming to Kelowna. Do you understand that? And he said, oh yeah, I understand that. And then straight away he said, well, we better go and have a look at that.